Today we're going to build a Formica Laminate tabletop.
With so many Formica Laminate designs, you can make the perfect table to fit your space.
To complete this project, you'll need these supplies.
Before you begin, make sure your room is well ventilated and read the adhesive precautions and directions. Be sure to wear safety glasses when using any power tool, and cover your floor with a drop cloth.
To create your table, start with a piece of MDF board or particle board. Measure and cut the board to the desired tabletop size. You'll also need to cut 2-inch wide strips of board to build up the edges of the top. It's up to you how thick you want the sides of the table. For today, we're using 3/4 inch MDF board and 3/4 inch strips, giving us an 1.5 inch thick tabletop. Once strips are cut, use wood glue to glue and then staple the wood strips around the perimeter of the top, making sure the strips are flush with the edge of the top.
Flip the top over and wipe any debris off with a damp cloth and let the top dry. Now it's time to cut the laminate to cover the top. Get a measurement of the exact size of the table. You'll want to cut the laminate to be 3/8 to a 1/2 inch larger on all 4 sides than your measurement to be sure to get full coverage around the table. You'll be trimming it down later.
Once you've measured the laminate, cut it with a circular saw with a fine carbide tipped blade. Remember to turn the laminate decor side down when you cut it.
Next, measure and cut edge strips of Formica laminate to use on the table sides. Just like the tabletop, you'll want to cut the laminate 3/8 to a 1/2 inch larger than the size needed.
Next, brush contact cement on the laminate strips. Then apply 2 coats of adhesive to the table edge. Let the adhesive get tacky, then apply the edge strips by hand. Then use a J-roller to apply even pressure to bond the edges to the table, working from the center out.
After each edge surface is covered, trim the excess material on the sides and trim the ends with the router and flush trim bit. Use a detail sander to make sure the laminate isn't higher or wider than the substrate. Then wipe the surface to remove any debris.
Now you'll use a paint roller to apply contact cement to the back of the laminate sheet for the tabletop and to the surface of the table.
While the adhesive gets tacky to the touch, place your dowel rods 6 inches apart on the table surface. With the laminate on top of the dowel rods, be sure to align the surfaces so the overhang is parallel with the tabletop. Then, slide the dowel rods out, starting with the center and working out. Immediately apply pressure to the tabletop with a J-roller.
Finally, you'll want to trim the edges with a flush trim router. Then, file the edges in a downward direction to get them flush and remove any sharp edges. Clean the top and sides thoroughly with acetone to remove any extra adhesive, and then use any everyday household cleaner to wipe the top again. Let the whole tabletop dry at least 24 to 48 hours.
After the tabletop is dry, attach the legs to the top, and now your one-of-a-kind table is ready to use and enjoy. Visit Formica.com for more information.